perfect. Consult your OED, look up the word perfect, and you will see a photograph of Arne Slot. Everything that you have just witnessed from the London Stadium, from a Liverpool perspective, was perfection. It was the perfect performance. It was the perfect result. It was the perfect end to 2024. Liverpool Football Club under Arne Slot are quite simply perfect. They are flawless. They are immaculate. That performance was part of the immaculate collection. It just simply could not have been any better. Whatever you want to analyse, it was perfect. Everybody shone. Everybody did their job. Everybody did what they were supposed to do, and it went to perfection. They did their job perfectly. Mohamed Salah, he looks like the player of the year elect. There is nobody doing what he is doing in world football. I don't care. I know. I don't watch that much of the Bundesliga. I don't know what's going on that well in Liga. There is a limit to how much La Liga I watch. But trust me, nobody in the world is doing what Mohamed Salah is doing. And you know how I know that? Because nobody in the world has really done this before. What we are witnessing is historic. Nobody has had a twin peak like Mohamed Salah. 4 years ago, we said that Mohamed Salah was the best version of Mohamed Salah that there ever was. We were saying that Mohamed Salah, in that form, was unrivaled, unmatched. Nobody could cope. He was a Premier League great off the back of that, a Liverpool great off the back of that, and he is better today. He is a better player today than he was then. That is how good he is. He is simply sensational, and he is Player of the Year. There is no two ways about it. What he is doing now is genuinely historic. And don't get me wrong, he's not the only one. Like that defence at Liverpool, they are playing like a dream. Like regardless of who partners Van Dijk, whether it's Gomez goes off, Kwanzaa comes on, what happens? Clean sheet. It's almost irrelevant. The system is there. And with Van Dijk, everybody elevates their performances. You need that. You need a player who's a stalwart of the team that makes everyone else around them better. Virgil van Dijk does it to the back line. Mohamed Salah does it to the front line. It is perfection. It is symmetry. It is dreamlike. And everything that is going on at Liverpool is simply perfect. Like they're so reliable. And they are giving off the energy of champions. It was a cakewalk. It was so easy. They have gone away from home to a stadium that, not a stadium that was once intimidating, but to a fan base that was once intimidating. Going to West Ham was a hard place to go. Going to West Ham and getting a result was a very tough place to go. They've gone there. They've scored 5 goals away from home. 5 different goal scorers. Perfect. How can anybody do this? How is this happening? How are we witnessing this? Like Liverpool are now what? 8 points clear of Forest at the top of the league with a game in hand. The league is done. That's a fact. The league is gone. And do you know what? I'm not going to speak now too much about Mohamed Salah. We're obviously going to have to acknowledge his assist. We're obviously going to have to acknowledge the double pirouette nutmeg assist because it was unbelievable. But I'm working on something at the moment that I'm thoroughly enjoying because in essence, we are lovers of football, aren't we? In essence, what we are is we're junkies who chase a buzz, and that buzz is watching brilliant footballers play. And we are lucky. We are privileged. We should all thank our lucky stars that we are alive to witness the brilliance of Mohamed Salah. That is what is happening. You know, like a decade or so ago, when we were talking about like Lionel Messi versus Cristiano Ronaldo, sometimes you just have to go, do you know what? I saw it. I wasn't fortunate enough. I didn't see Marco van Basten in his pomp. I didn't really see Ruud Gullit in his pomp. I certainly didn't see Pele or Bobby Charlton in his pomp. But we are witnessing something with Mohamed Salah now, and we really should all just appreciate it. Like 37 goal contributions in all competitions this season. 20 goals. 20 goals. We aren't even at New Year's Day. 20 goals, 17 assists. And we aren't even at New Year's Day. We are witnessing genius. Like genuine genius. It's an era that will be studied. Mohamed Salah, you know the way that we hear, because you're lovers of football, right? You know when you hear these things, you know, like mythical football figures. People like Dixie Dean. You hear that. If you're a Chelsea fan, Ted Drake. You know, if you're a Tottenham fan, Jimmy Greaves. You hear these names and you don't really understand it. Dixie Dean did what for Everton? You know, Roger Hunt did what for Liverpool? We're witnessing it now. We are seeing it with our own eyes. We are witnessing almost a mythical goblin-like footballer. Something that kind of doesn't exist, that you can't really process, that like my brain can't compute what Dixie Dean did. Mohamed Salah is doing that for a future generation. That is what is going on at the moment. It really is unbelievable. Mohamed Salah simply has the Midas touch. There is nothing that he can't do. Everything that he does on a football pitch turns to gold. And goals, in fact. Everything that he does on a football pitch turns to gold. He's got like the Salah touch, which is a spin-off of the Midas touch, but it turns to goals rather than gold because it's just dazzling. It's luminous. It's historic. He truly is unbelievable. And you look at that front three that he was part of once. You know, the Sadio Mane, the Roberto Firmino and the Mohamed Salah triumvirate of greatness. And you look at what they've got going on now. And honestly, it feels not necessarily comparable. What Sadio Mane was doing, what Roberto Firmino was doing alongside Salah was special then. But you know, this interchangeable, star-studded front three that they have got at the moment, it's unreal. Like, Luis Diaz is an amazing footballer. He is truly an amazing footballer. He is quietly going about becoming one of the best players in the league. And I don't really think it's being discussed. And I do understand why. Part of the reason that we don't discuss quite how good Luis Diaz is because of what's going on with Mohamed Salah. But do you know what it reminds me of? I just thought of this. Do you remember about 5 or 6 years ago, there was that young kid, brilliant young fella who I've met a few times, name's James Redmond. And he did this speech when he was talking to Redmen TV. And he was talking about Sadio Mane. And everyone was talking about Salah at the time. But he was talking about Mane. And he's like, no ifs, no buts. Best player in the world. There isn't a player in the world better than Sadio Mane. At the time, it was an extreme take. At the time, it didn't necessarily chime with the way everybody felt about Liverpool or footballers at the time. He was basically saying Sadio Mane is the best player in the world. And everyone went, whoa. I think that you could say something like that about what's going on with Luis Diaz. Like, you know, if he was to come out and speak and go, no ifs, no buts, Luis Diaz, with the exception of Mohamed Salah, I think Luis Diaz is probably that. He's undoubtedly one of the best players in the league. He's undoubtedly, therefore, one of the best players in the world. Liverpool are the best team in the country. Liverpool are the best team in Europe. Luis Diaz is integral to everything that they're doing. He's just not doing it to the level of Salah. But I guarantee you this, if he was doing it at any other club, we would all be so aware of it. It's just, he's slightly doing it in the shadow of Salah. It's amazing what he's doing. And they've kind of got, like, in the spirit of Christmas, they've got like three kings. You know, like frankincense and myrrh and gold. They've got Salah, they've got Luis Diaz, and they've got Cody Gakpo. It's like the three wise men. It's unbelievable how good they are. And the way that they blend, the way that they interchange, the way that they overload one side, it's so intelligent from Arne Slot. And basically, you can't live with them. You saw West Ham panicking. West Ham had no answer. They had no understanding. They had no idea how to live with what was going on. You know that the assist for Jota, wasn't it? You know when he basically just ran the length of his pitch, the length of the pitch, like ran from his own half, and he held off how many defenders? How panicked, rabbit in the headlights. So defenders, they were terrified, and basically Jota was teed up with ease because you could see that West Ham United's defenders were petrified. They were almost awestruck and terrified of what Mohamed Salah was going to do. So they did nothing. Look, as much as we have to focus on how amazing Liverpool were, and they were, I mean, West Ham were woeful, man. Like, so bad. So bad. But that doesn't make sense of what Liverpool have done here. You know, they end 2024 8 points clear at the top of the table with a game in hand over Nottingham Forest, and they are 9 points ahead of Arsenal. That, to me, is insurmountable. I do not see a world where anyone can get close to that. And it all went so well. You know, at the beginning of this video when I said it was perfect, another way that it was so perfect, the way that Liverpool took the sting out of the game. Like, nothing really happened in the second half. You know, there was no urgency. There were no 50-50 challenges that were particularly worrying from a Liverpool perspective if they're thinking about injuries. They were able to rotate. They were able to take their foot off the gas, and they still managed to do all that, scoring another 2 goals, and they could have scored a couple more. So, you know, at this stage of the season, when we're at Christmas and the games are coming thick and fast, and you really have to be aware of the challenges and rotating your squad and making sure that everyone's fit because you've got Champions League games to come, you've got game after game after game, you really do need to be so aware of it. And look how easy it was. You could totally take the sting out of the game. It was exactly what Liverpool needed. You know, and like I said, it was pretty much the perfect performance. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, will you do me a favour? Please do click that subscriber button. It massively helps me out. I would love to welcome you into this community. And I wish you a happy new year. I hope that you have a wonderful time. I hope that you've had a great Christmas. And the league's done, isn't it? It's done. And testament to Arne Slot's brilliance and the brilliance of his team. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I look forward to reading them the second I push this video live. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Ta-da.